Hi, everybody. Jonathan Poole here. I'm the Principal Product Manager for Digital Pathology in the Innovation Department. And this is 3 ways to speed pathology collaboration. So let's start by taking a look at the trends in digital pathology. And this is a growing market. And it's growing fairly significantly, and it's a split market between hospitals and biotech and diagnostics, and then academic, all of whom are Iron Mountain customers, and we're excited to talk about how digital pathology is growing across these customer profiles. Some of the key drivers that are pushing this adoption forward are a global disparity in pathologist supply. We see pathologists more available in the United States and North America than in some of our African, Middle East, and Asian countries. And so telepathology is helping to drive this forward as well by creating a remote support model for pathologists where they can work in one environment and read pathology in another environment. That's really about driving workflow efficiency and allowing pathologists to become more effective by using digital pathology as opposed to physical. There is, of course, an increase in cancer diagnosis, which is driving a need for more pathology readings, and more slides are being created. And then increased drug discovery and precision medicine emphasis, where the pharmaceutical companies are really driving forward research in new drugs to treat cancer, and academic institutions are conducting additional research to help solve the cancer crisis. Let's talk about the limitations that many of our customers have. And these are things that customers have told us through a number of interviews. And the first is around inefficiency. So when you're dealing with glass slides, it can be difficult to put your hands on the actual glass slide that you need. And this might be because this has been previously retrieved and the accession may have been separated slightly. Maybe it got moved and it's on site and we're not sure exactly where it is, but this all drives inefficiency in handling the physical glass slides. Sharing can be a problem where I have to have a physical glass slide under a microscope to be able to see it. And then I need to either send the slides to someone else or have them come to me, or we all need to get onto a conference call where I can share the glass slide under an electric microscope. The constraint here being somebody has to handle the physical slide in order for that collaboration to happen. And that collaboration can only happen when the physical glass slide is present. Storage challenges can be a considerable problem for customers as they try to adopt digital pathology, because the image size is so significant for pathology images as compared to almost any other imaging that happens in a hospital. Pathology slides can be a gig to a gig and a half for a 20x slide. That would be a smaller slide. Or if you're doing clinical, this could be 3 gigs to 4 gigs per slide. And when you're looking at 20 to 25 slides per accession, this can easily grow to be over 100 gigs per accession. And so the ability to store that and manage that is significant for our hospitals and academics. All of this inefficiency leads to overburdened staff. And the pathology space is growing at about 10%, as we saw. And so this means that staff are being asked to do more with less, and this is industry-wide. And then potential for loss. So anytime I have to transact something physically, there is a risk of slide loss and damage due to breakage as we handle and move these slides around. Iron Mountain is presenting our Digital Pathology On Demand tool as a way to help reduce some of these limitations that we discussed on the last slide. And here are your 3 things that you can do. The first is get what you need when you need it. And this is about not going through and imaging everything. This is about getting just the information that you need and just when you need it. So eliminate the physical movement of material, scan the accession as you identify the need to see it, and let's get those slides available for pathologists to read and share and annotate and collaborate and drive that efficiency. This sharing and collaboration is the second pillar. So by eliminating the physical movement of slides, we can now view and annotate and compare without having to have slides physically underneath the glass microscope. And then finally, let's use a secure and scalable solution to manage that inventory as it grows in the digital space. And this is an area that Iron Mountain has significant investment, and we are industry experts in protecting these assets. Our DPOD process, or Digital Pathology On Demand, works to alleviate the constraints that customers may have. And we start by using our secure portal for a customer to log in and place the order through a simple dialogue using the accession number as the key information to drive that request forward. We then give you the ability to select whether you need this on your regular delivery time, which is set up in your account, or whether you need to expedite this. Maybe this is to support something that's happening in the hospital and we need it on a faster than normal time frame, and so you can select expedited. Once that order arrives at Iron Mountain, our personnel will go and retrieve these glass slides from storage, and they'll prep them for scanning by making sure that they're in good condition, that the cover slips are not misaligned, that there's no damage to the slide prior to getting it ready to go through the scanner. And then, of course, scanning is that next step when the slides are loaded into the scanning equipment and processed, which includes a quality control check to make sure the images are of quality that we expect to come through the scanner. The pathologist that requested them will then receive notification that the images are ready. They can log into the tool and they'll be able to view the images through our integrated viewer system as the images are stored on Iron Cloud. And this allows the images to be preserved, protected, and maintained in a secure environment. We don't need to be transmitting these very large images back and forth to our customer. We give them a very simple login to come in and take a look at those images. And then we're able to put the slides directly back into storage, so they don't need to be transported, that nothing ever leaves the Iron Mountain chain of custody. They're able to go up to the scanner and then directly back into storage. So we mentioned Iron Cloud, and this is where we're storing our images. The Iron Cloud is an Iron Mountain operated cloud, so this is our own cloud, and it allows for a tiered storage model that keeps your images in a warm tier, a hot tier for immediate access, a warm tier after 30 days, and then an archival storage where they can exist for many years. This high availability model also has resiliency built into it, so as the data scales out, it gets protected, and it is helping to drive your total cost of ownership by being a lower cost model than the hyperscalers, where we're keeping everything in hot storage. This gives you unlimited data access without adding additional egress and ingress costs. And finally, this is a highly secured network. And in some cases, we are actually creating an air gap between the availability of the data and the storage of the data. So it has that high security feature to it. When the pathologist is ready to log in, they're going to come in through our DPOD portal and look at their pathology images. And this allows them to click through and open up Path Presenter, which is our image management partner. And so the images will be streamed directly through their browser. There's no need to install any additional software, and these images remain stored in our Iron Cloud product, and the Path Presenter system is running within the Iron Mountain network. So again, the data stays entirely within our chain of custody, and nothing needs to be installed or added on the customer site. So that Path Presenter opens within this environment, and it allows you to do a number of things within the tool, including side-by-side verifications of sequential tissue sections or different stains with annotations. And here you can see we've got an annotation for Dr. Kumar to compare one specific section of the slide, and we're drawing attention to that. And that collaboration happens directly within the tool. So again, no need to email or conduct anything outside of the tool. The collaboration happens directly within the tool. So this is a significant leap forward in generating value, and the ability to take these slides once they're imaged and connect them to your electronic medical record. This allows information to be passed freely between the two systems, so we're not trying to create separate silos. This will then drive asset marketplaces where the images can be collected, anonymized, and marketed for sale. This will lead to AI-enabled research where cohorts of images with components of metadata attached can be sold to AI companies as they train their AI on different algorithms, or as customers wish to engage with AI companies to run algorithms on their own slides. Let's talk a moment about ROI. So this adds value to your environment without adding significant cost to your infrastructure. So this improves the retrieval speed by eliminating the physical component of moving the slides to your location, having the customer unpack them, distribute them, repack them, sort them, and move them. All of that component goes away. Instead, the image is simply presented to you online, improving the accessibility of the images to the required physicians on your side. So this drives productivity through the ease of collaboration. It will then help preserve and protect the original glass slides by eliminating that physical movement. It allows it to be searchable, and we can attach key pieces of metadata to it. It eliminates that necessary on-site storage. So a lot of customers, when they call slides back from storage, will have to hold them on site for a certain amount of time. And maybe they can decrease the number of years of holdings they keep on site, knowing that by moving them off site and being able to get a digital copy, they don't need to hold as much information on site. This, of course, reduces the risk of loss due to transportation and handling at the customer site. It enables your archive to grow in that ironclad scalable environment and allows for future integrations and analysis. The DPOD offering is different from other things you'll find in the marketplace because this is an end-to-end solution. It includes the physical piece, the transport, storage, retrievals, returns. That physical chain of custody that you know from Iron Mountain remains. It now also includes the online ordering portal, the in-facility scanning, the image storage, and the viewing system. So it covers the entire lifespan of the slide from the point that it is in storage to when it's back in storage and the image is available and the image is archived. And this can apply to the more than 1 billion slides and blocks that Iron Mountain has under management worldwide. And this end-to-end process includes that full chain of custody that you expect from Iron Mountain. Let's touch on physical storage for our slides and blocks, because this is a key component of protecting the asset through its entire life. So as you identify items to be moved off-site, this could be an entire year of material, or it could be month by month, or even week by week, where Iron Mountain will come in and collect these items. We'll make sure that they're securely packaged and ready to be transported off-site. That transport happens within an Iron Mountain vehicle, where temperature and humidity controls are required. We can use a vehicle that supports that. Once they get to Iron Mountain, they get unpacked. We get indexed and stored within the CAP-compliant vault spaces, and then we upload those assets through IM Connect, which is part of our digital pathology platform, where you can then see the assets and prepare them for being ordered. Our digital pathology tool uses the Ironcloud storage tiers. And there are really 4 layers of tier that we're talking about, 3 primary and then restoration. So the first is the active tier, and this is when the data is fully online. It has that high availability model. And we think that we need to keep this material here for about 30 days after it's created. And this is when it is most likely to be viewed and accessed, when information needs to be shared and collaboration will happen. From that active tier, it will move to a warm tier, and we think this is about that 31 to 90 days, where the image is still available. It might take a minute or so for it to be restored back to the active tier, and we call this a warm tier. So it's not fully archived yet, but it's not in the high availability model, but it is still accessible within 1 or 2 minutes. As it ages out of that 90-day tier, it moves to cold tier. And this is truly offline now, where it is protected by what we call an air gap. So it is not accessible from the internet. It is required that it get restored. It takes up to 12 hours or 24 hours for it to be restored, when it will then be available at that active tier again. And these timelines are configurable. So we said 30, 90, and then cold tier for up to 10 years. Those can be adjusted. So based on customer preference, if you believe that you want your active tier for 60 days and warm tier for 1 year, we can change those based on your configuration settings. And then finally, restoration, where you identify that you need to be brought back in line, and that is included in the IronCloud product. So if it is in the cold tier, the user will select it and it will be brought back online seamlessly for you. Would you like to learn more about digital pathology or digital pathology on demand? Please reach out to your Iron Mountain sales representative or check the website ironmountain.com/pathology-solutions to get more information.